Hey all, welcome back to another NV Creations coin roll hunting video. As you can see here, I got some more pennies, so we're going to hit it up for episode number 3 of our $5 in pennies series. Bank won't let me buy boxes, they'll only let me buy $5 at a time, so this is what we come up with. And this is going to be a good hunt, I just feel it, because if you look close enough, there is a wheat penny ender. Don't see wheat penny enders very often, but they come around. So I know we're going to at least have one wheat penny find in this hunt. So without further ado, let's dive into roll number 1. All right, roll number 1 here, just to get it out of the way and see if we got any more scores. Here is that wheat penny ender. So we know right off the bat, we are going to start our hunt off with 10 points. Pretty cool. Love finding wheat pennies. They're not the highest valued coin, but it's still fun to find those old wheat pennies still rummaging around. Let's take a look at it right off the bat. Pretty nice looking wheat penny. A little worn out, but not too bad. It is going to be a 1944 San Francisco. Very cool to find that on our first hunt. If you guys haven't watched any of my penny hunts in the past, my scoring points are 1 point for clad or copper pennies, 2 points for foreign pennies, 3 points for 2009s, 5 points for low mintage, which right now I'm just counting as 2025 pennies. We got 10 points for wheat pennies, 15 points for steel pennies, 20 points for Indian heads, and 30 points for flying eagles. We got our first copper penny out of the bunch, so I'll quit talking and let's dive in and see what we can find. There's another 1975. There's an 82, so we'll set that aside and we'll throw it on the scale when we're done with this roll, see if it is clad or copper. If you didn't know, partway through the year of 1982, they switched from copper to clad coins. Throw it on the scale. If it's 3 grams or more, it's going to be a copper penny, and if it's around 2.6 grams, it is a clad penny, and they are throwing back in the return pile pennies, in my opinion. So see if we can't find something good. Been a while, but I found quite a few 2009s over the years. There's an 81 for our copper pile. It's another old looking coin. That's going to be a 73. Really small D on that one. I might hang on to that one. That one might be worth something. I hear a lot of people talking about small D and not in the way most people think of it. Got to keep our mind out of the gutters. We're talking about currency here. But it might be worth something. I'll have to look that one up. Finding a lot of junk clad in here. But you never know, we might find a 2025. Pretty nasty one, but it's just a normal clad. If it's got the shield on the back, about the only ones we're hanging on to are the 2025s. Alright, well, let me get my scale out here and we will weigh up this 1982. See if it is indeed copper or clad. So we'll throw it on the scale. It is going to be 2.5 grams. That is a clad. Throw it in the return pile. Well, on roll number 1, we did obviously find this 1944 San Francisco wheat penny. Not a bad find. We found 5 copper pennies for 5 points, so that's going to give us 15 points on roll number 1. I'm going to take a look on the web and see if there's anything about that 1978 with the small D on it. When we get this cleaned up, I'll throw them points on the board and we'll move on to roll number 2. Alright, on to roll number 2 here. Like I said, we're sitting at 15 points for this hunt so far. Not bad. See what we can find in these remaining rolls. So take a look. Hopefully we can find something good in here. So 1971 San Francisco. We'll throw that one in the Copper Keeper pile. Worth 1 point on the list. A lot of clad pennies in this batch. Nothing worth saving yet. If you guys know of any clad pennies I should be keeping an eye out that I don't realize I'm surfing over. It's a 1980. That'll be copper as well, so we'll hang on to that one. Yeah, let me know down in the comments if I'm missing something I should be looking for. There's a 67 Philadelphia, another copper penny. Hopefully we could find a 2009. Those are always fun to find. There's a 2025, so that's going to go on our low minted mark, since they only made them for a couple months in 2025. Throw that one around a little bit. It's only a 23, so nothing worth anything. '83 is going to be clad. Alright, well, roll number 2 gave us one low minted 2025 Denver, so that'll be a 5-point coin. And then we got our 3 coppers, so we're going to have 8 points on roll number 2. Let's see what roll number 3 has for us. Alright, here we go on to roll number 3. Let's find something good in there, right, boys and girls? There's a 61 Denver, so we'll throw that in the copper pile. There's an 82, which to me looks copper, so but I'm going to throw it there so we can throw it on the scale just to double check. If so, that'll give us 1 point for a copper coin. If not, it's just another coin to throw back in the return bucket. 71 Denver. Copper penny. Beautiful 1970 San Francisco. Throw that into our copper pile. 78 Denver. That'll be copper. There's an 81 Philly. We'll throw in the copper pile. '83 is going to be clad. 63 Denver. We'll throw that in the copper pile. Got a nice little pile of copper going. It's a nice looking 1979 Denver. Pretty good shape there. Throw that in the copper. Another 82 to throw on the scale. See if it's, there's an 80 for the copper pile. 72 Denver for the copper pile. 77 Denver. The last one's going to be a 22 Denver. So let's get the scale out, check on these two 82s and see what they come up as. 3 grams is going to be copper, and 3 grams, like I said, will be copper. So got a good pile of copper. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 copper pennies for 12 points on roll number 3. Not a bad roll. We'll get this cleaned up. We'll move on to roll number 4. Alright, roll number 4 coming up. Got to beat that 15-point roll on the first one, finding that wheat penny in there. Let's see if we can't find another wheat. $77 Denver. The 2025 low mint, so that'll be 5 points. Puts us at 6 so far. Real beat up. 1970. I think it was a Denver. There's a 74 Denver. Nice copper tone 1981. Real nice. Well, a little beat up on the back, but good coloring on that one. Good enough for a point on the score sheet, so we'll hang on to it. There's a 64 Denver, copper. 79 Denver, a little dirty, but still worth hanging on to. Almost looked that one right over. There's a 2009 bicentennial leaking cent. We'll hang on to that one, as that is worth 3 points. $19.70. $19.59 Philadelphia. That's going to go into our copper pile. Here's an 82 Denver. Let's see if that one's clad, which I think it is. There's another 59 Denver. 1980 Philly. We are finding some good copper in here, but there's a 73 Denver. The last one's a 2005. Not a bad haul on roll number 4 there. Let's see what this 82 comes up to. 3 grams, good enough for a copper. So pretty good haul on that one. We got our 2025 Denver for 5 points. We got our 2009 worth 3 points. 3, 6, 9, 12. I had a hard time doing math there. 20 points on roll number 4. That's our best roll of the hunt so far. And we still got 6 rolls left to look through. So let's see what we got. I'll get this cleaned up. Alright, on to roll number 5 here. So far we're sitting at 55 points for this hunt. Episode 1 got us 180 points. Episode 2 got us 134. So we got to see if we're going to go up or down on this series. So let's see if we can't find something good in here. We'll start off with 1975 Denver for the copper pile. There's a 62 Denver. Hang on to that one. There's a 76 Denver. 59 Denver. So getting some copper here. There's the 72 Denver. Definitely find a lot of Denvers up here in Montana versus Philadelphia. There's an 82. We'll throw that one on the scale, see if it's copper, which it definitely looks copper to me. $81 Denver for the copper pile. Another 82 we'll throw on the scale. Another 82. That's quite a few 82s in this roll. Most so far in this hunt. 3. There's a 75 Denver. Pretty clean 1980 Denver. And our last coin is going to be a 93. So all we're getting out of this one is copper. But let's see if these are worth hanging on to. 3.1 grams copper. 3 grams copper. And 3 grams copper. So far, all of our 82s we've found have been copper, which is nice to see. But if you look there, 11 points worth of copper on roll number 5. We'll throw that up on the total and we'll move on to roll number 6. 11 points has been our average per roll so far, so not doing too bad. I'll get this cleaned up and we'll move on to the second half of our hunt. Alright, roll number 6. Still sitting at an 11-point average, 66 points for this hunt. Still got 5 rolls left to look at. Quite a few shiny ones in there, but we are seeing some dull ones, which means copper, so we are going to keep getting some points. Hopefully. Alright, we'll start off with a 78 Denver for our copper pile. There's a 2025, so we'll get a 5 points on that one for low mintage. There's a 78 Denver, another one with the small D on it. 77 Denver. Another 77 Denver. Very beat up 95. Nothing to write home about there. There's a 76 Denver. '61 Denver. Nice looking 82. We'll throw that up on the scale, get us a weight and see what it's going to be composed of. There's a 70 Denver. Another 82 to throw on the scale. And another 82 to throw on the scale. Alright. Let's get the scale out, we'll see what these three here are, if they're clad or copper. We're going to have a clad one there, 2.5 grams. 3.1 is going to be on the copper. And our last one, 3.1 grams for copper. So we did find our 2025 with 5 points. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we're going to get 14 points on roll number 6. Let me throw that up on the score sheet, and we'll move on to roll number 7. Alright, roll number 7 here. We're currently sitting at 80 points, which is going to make it tough to beat our first episode, being we'd need to find 25 points per roll in these last 4 rolls, which is possible. So we'll see what they have in there for us. There's a 2025, so there's 5 points. Can we find 20 points worth of other coins in here? Let's hope so. 81 Denver for the copper pile. Copper's fun to find. There's an 82. But I'd rather find some of them higher pointed coins like wheat pennies, or yet to find a steel penny. That'd be fun to throw in the collection. And there's a 73 San Francisco. Another 82. That one looks clad to me. There's an 80. $1967 Philly. There's a 1978 Philly. '75 Denver. Not looking too good to hit that 25-point mark. It's an 81. 59 Denver. And our last one is going to be a 2000 Denver. So I don't think we're going to make our 25-point mark, but that one's going to go towards the copper, and that one's going to be clad. So we got our 2025 Denver for 5 points, and 9 copper pennies. Just like the last roll, we're going to get another 14, 11 points shy of our goal, but we still got 3 more rolls. Hopefully there's some treasure in there to be found. Alright, roll number 8 here. Let's see if we can't find a wheat penny in there. Get us back on track for the episode 3 to take the win, but we'll see where it goes. So far not great. We got an 82 to throw on the scale. A lot of newer clad stuff in here. Not doing too well so far. Another 25 Denver, worth 5 points. 76 Denver. 2,000 jumping out of my hands into the clad pile, which it's definitely not allowed in. 77 Denver. Nice copper toning on that one. $82 to throw on the scale. Make sure I keep all my stuff separated so I know what I've got. Another 82. That gives us 3 to weigh. Alright, well, not the greatest, but not the worst. Let's see what we got for our 82s. First one's going to be clad, 2.5 grams. 3 grams will be a copper, and 3 grams for copper. So that's going to give us 6 points on the copper, 5 points with our low minted for 11 points. Definitely not sticking to our par levels for first place on our penny episodes, but we're still getting points, so that's great. I'll throw them up on the board. We got 2 rolls left. Let's see what they have for us. All right, roll number 8 here. Be nice to open up a full roll of wheat pennies. Don't see that happening anytime with these ones, so we'll hope for the best. See what we can come up with. There's a 79 Denver. A lot of 2020 era stuff in there. There's a 1980. Throw that in the pile. There's a 1970. 76. Nice little run of copper pennies there. Some nice looking 1968 San Francisco. That thing is in beautiful shape. Throw that in the copper pile. Dirty coins here. Nothing worth hanging on to. $62 Denver to hold on to. 1980 Philly. So we're getting some copper, but nothing else. So that one's just going to have 7 points for copper on it there. So we'll get this cleaned up, throw it up, and move on to roll number 2. 10. Words, they're tough. Roll number 10 coming up. Alright, our final roll of the hunt here. We are currently sitting at 112 points, which means we need to get 22 points to even match episode 2's 134 point total. So hopefully we can do something. We'll start out with a 64 Denver. There's a 79 Denver. $82. We can throw that up on the scale. See if it's worth a point or not. $74 San Francisco. $76 Denver. $66 Philly. There's a 76 Denver. $78 Denver. Not looking too good. $83 is junk. There's a 68 Denver. Very dirty 1980 Denver. Still worth a point in the copper pile. Our last one's a 76 Denver. Not what we were looking for points, but it's still points nonetheless. We'll throw this 82 up. 2.5 is going to be clad, so it's not worth anything. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points worth of copper on that one. Not quite enough to give us a second or first place, but episode 3 is going to have the lowest points. Let me get this cleaned up and I'll give us a recap of what we have found. Alright, well here is our recap of episode 3. We found 84 copper pennies. Found our 1944 San Francisco wheat penny for 10 points. Got our 2009. I think this is early childhood, the first one in the series. That'll be worth 3 points. And we found 5 2025s worth 5 points each. So, not the worst hunt I've ever had, not the greatest hunt. In our $5 worth of penny series, this is episode 3, and it is in 3rd place. So, if you guys are interested, I will have these coins up on my website at nvcreationsmontana.com if anybody wants to pick one up. Subscribe if you haven't. I could really use the subscribers. It's nice. It makes me feel good when I see that subscriber count go up. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Share it with your friends. Throw a comment down. Let me know what you guys thought of this hunt. I plan to do more as long as I can keep buying pennies. So we'll see where this little series goes. I just lost my train of thought. nvcreationsmontana.com if you want to pick up coins under the coin tabs or some jewelry under the shop page. If you have something you want to chit chat about and you don't want it on the YouTube comments, hit me up with an email at nvcreationsmontana@gmail.com. On that note, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.